The title of this video is If the End Justifies the Means, Then It Justifies the Means. And brain on sugar or brain on cocaine. Now, I cannot take you through all of my 10,000 valid sources and references again and again, but I can show you some of the more important ones that I refer to. I want you to think about this hidden sugar in your food CNN clip and ask yourselves, if someone showed in court a judge and said, this is this person's brain on cocaine, but rather the evidence of the brain scan was showing a brain that had too much sugar, and then that person was discredited as a cokehead and forced into rehabilitation, their children taken away, and so on. I have said before that we are headed for a world where psychiatry answers the opposition view by saying now we had valid tests in order to prove who suffers from a mental disorder. This is from TEDx, which shows you what the New World Order is doing in many cases. They talk about, materialism, a greater materialism, and so on, and different New Age ideas. And you can see some of them from the sides here, the one at the bottom. Consciousness, the final frontier, okay, and so on. Mathematics and sex, and so on. Introducing you to New Age ideas, whether you are smart enough to see it that way or not. So why, pray tell, am I showing you this? The most important lesson from 83,000 brain scans, Dr. Amen. Now, I've been to the Amen clinic myself, had an inconclusive brain scan, as well as MRIs and what have you, all inconclusive. But they were able to lie and say to people that, oh, I had brain scans that showed that I conclusively had temporal lobe seizures or epilepsy, when no such brain scans that were completely valid even existed at the time. So now their answer to the demand from the opposition view to have valid diagnostic tests so that physicians, quote unquote, so that psychiatrists can rely on valid tests and not descriptions of behaviors for their diagnoses. Their answer is brain scans. But yes, my people, my friends, brain scans do not show anything other than activity in that area of the brain. And as you see here, there are multiple reasons for that activity. And it is usually due to chemicals introduced into the body, in this instance, sugar and cocaine. So then, will psychiatry continue to lie to you? And mental health, just like Freud used to tell people it was safe to take cocaine for their problems. Will they continue to lie to you? Yes, they will. And they will use superficial brain scans that mean close to nothing at all and prove nothing at all to continue their psychiatric abuse and their hegemonic psychiatric normalization. People, I urge you, I implore you, my brothers in China, do not abuse political dissidents because you believe that the end justifies the means. Well, the end, the greatest end there could be, is one with greater morality and the understanding that healthy families and societies grow from greater morality. Buddhism, for example, when applied properly and not selectively, is a fair religion. And I see that some of them are facing persecutions in different branches And I understand that you see it as political dissent and you associate it with such, as such. But to truly reach an end in which perhaps otherwise deplorable methods are used as the means to reach it, and to truly justify this as the correct course of action, morality and the higher principles of spirituality must be applied carefully, with great efficacy. You will have people in psychiatry say, why is this black guy dressing in a Chinese gi with a freedom fighter patch? And I will say to them, because I am an Igbo warrior who was trained in the African fighting arts and Kung Fu, among other things. This is who I am. I am a great moral citizen, and my techniques have allowed me to achieve the highest form of martial arts in this country when it comes to combat arts, sparring, and self-defense. So then, from a scientific perspective, should you not consider how I have used my beliefs to reach my true potential, or a great enough point that I have transcended all of your inferior beliefs? I see Buddhists, even in America, are being forced to compromise their integrity and their values. I see white people, and I don't mean to say white people are inferior, but this is what I see, and I'll call it like I see it. They are writing books that have to do with mental health, where they selectively choose principles from Buddhism in an inferior fashion, instead of sticking to the pure form. That is what the New Age is about. Selectively choosing things that are in the best interest of the elite, which in the case of America are almost completely white and Jewish. Scientific racism, scientism, psychiatry as a religion being applied in a way that suits the needs of the elite and totally ignores the common man. I urge you not to fall victim of inferior philosophies, pathetic perceptions, and the most deplorable misconceptions that are being propagated by the spiritual bottom feeders. Thank you.